What's up, guys? Mason the Brock Henderson here. So I could get mad, I could get upset, I could yell and scream, but I've already done that and I don't want to do it again. So, yeah, I mean, this the thing is, this result, it's frustrating, it's embarrassing. It doesn't matter for next week. None of our past results matter because this team is so inconsistent. They could have gone out there and won 5-0 today. They would go out next week and they'd probably get beat by whoever it was because our team has no consistency in it. Because we have a bunch of young, inexperienced, stupid players. Thanks for that, Bowley. That's what it boils down to. All these players are young. They're petulant. They're inexperienced. They're naive. They have weak mentalities. And it shows every week when we go out there and you never know what you're going to get. Sometimes, even in the game themselves, you can go from we look embarrassing, we look well off it, we look down and depressed, and then all of a sudden, in 15 minutes, we look fantastic. And then we're back to looking down and frustrated. I mean, it's so inconsistent, and that's not what I want to see from our team. That's not the team that I want to see. And the thing is, yeah, maybe in a few years they'll be good. Is that really what we as fans want? We don't want to be good now. We want to be good eventually. Who wants that? Who looks at a team and says, you know what? I'm happy with this team. I'm happy with this team because in 2, maybe 3 years, they'll finally have gotten it together. They'll finally have grown up a little bit and will finally be good in 2 to 3 years. Let's hope we don't get relegated by then. And that's the other thing is, some of these players, they're going to want to play at the top level when they get to that stage in their career. And if we're still not in Europe 2 to 3 years from now, who's to say they're even going to stick around? Who's to say that they don't grow up in 2 years, get fantastic, and then we still don't have a good enough team overall, so they decide, you know what, I'm done here. I want to go to a team where I can really push myself. And then they leave. So we've spent all this money to build for the long haul, and what's even going to happen? Are they going to come good at Chelsea, or are they going to decide to go elsewhere because, the team is not living up to their standards? Who knows? But that's why Bowley's an idiot. He's such a dumbass. He has this plan in mind. Oh, yeah, I know how this is going to work. I have a great idea for how we're going to run this club. Yeah, maybe it works in baseball, dumbass, but it doesn't work in soccer. You can't just go get whatever young talent that's out there and watch them grow. You don't have time to do that in the Premier League. You don't have time to sit there and say, oh, 2 to 3 years from now, we'll finally see the dividends here. No, you have to go get players now. You have to go get players that are going to perform now. At least half the team needs to be players that are experienced players that can do it at the moment. We only have, 2, 3 players that are experienced in this side? You've got Silva, Sterling, and then what? I mean, I think Sanchez is above 25. I think everybody else is below 25 years old. 25 is kind of the standard if you want experience. So we have so many young players that are inexperienced, that are still growing. Like, what do you expect? What did you expect? Did you really expect it to work out? Like in baseball? Do you really think, oh yeah, this is how we did it and it worked well in this sport, so surely in this other sport, which is completely different, we can do the same thing? I don't know if that's what he did at the Dodgers, but that's what I'm assuming. I had to assume that he's not just coming in here and trying something that nobody's ever done before in any sport and been successful with, and assume, yeah, this will work, guys, trust me. I have to assume that. Because if not, the only other option is he hates Chelsea, he wanted to buy it so he could run it into the ground, and that kind of feels like what's happening. Because we're going overspending for these players that are not good enough, that aren't going to be able to compete at this level. And what are we seeing? Well, we're seeing a team that can't compete at this level, week in, week out. They can do it occasionally, they can step up and really fight hard occasionally, but then the next week, next game, who knows what you're going to get? You could get a great performance like the Man City game, or you could get a trash performance like today. So, yep, I'm obviously I've been done with Bowley for a while. I mean, I've been complaining about him since last season. I've been complaining about him as an owner since last season, and nothing's changing. Everything's still the same. He had a summer to try to fix some of his mistakes from the first season, and he just doubled down on those mistakes, and now we're really paying for it. So, Let's see what else. I think that's about it. I will be transparent here. I haven't watched the game all the way to completion. I think it's finishing up now. Let me check to see. Okay, so it ended 4-1. I stopped after the third goal because, I mean, once Silva is making mistakes that leads to goals, I mean, that's when you know the team is just done. If your most consistent player is making mistakes and is playing poorly, that's when you know the team is finished, because he's the only one I can rely on these days. He's the only one I can say every game I expect him to play well. He was awful today. So if your most consistent player isn't playing well, there's a problem. There's a severe problem that's got to be fixed. And obviously Pochettino not being on the sideline today may have hindered a bit because he can't make those changes himself. It doesn't matter. As a team, you've got to be better than that. But individually, I mean, there's not really a whole lot to talk about because everybody was just poor today. Outside of Sterling's free kick, I mean, there wasn't really much quality. We had a few moments in the game where we were knocking it around well, we were moving it well, but then you get into the box, and again, same old, same old. You get into the box, and everybody just turns their brains off and goes, and then kicks it over the goal. I mean, everybody played poor today. Everybody. The only one that I can single out for specific vitriol is James. Because you're captain. Probably the worst captain we've had this club in a while, but you're captain. You've got to be mature. You've got to grow up. You've got to stop being a pissant little kid. Because guess what? You're playing at the Premier League. You should be stepping up and leading this team. And what are you doing? Well, you're kind of jogging around. You're playing a little lazy. You get the ball, you have plenty of room to run into, and then you cut it back and go backwards. You're playing nonchalant as always, just like your sister does too. I mean, both of them are the most frustrating players to watch. Just a little side note, because I was watching, I think it was the Paris game that the ladies were playing in, and watching James play, she is the most frustrating player. Because she has so much quality. She's so much better quality-wise than most of the women out there. But she is so damn lazy. When she plays, it's like she never gets out of first gear. There was a shot that she had. It was the first big chance that Chelsea had against Paris FC. Kerr does a nice little dummy, basically lets it run right into her path. She's only got the keeper to beat, and you can tell her body language is like, this is too easy, I got this, and then just casually strikes it well wide. Because she didn't put her foot through it. She didn't actually try. She just was like, I'm so good, I don't even need to try for this. Yeah, you did. You needed to try, because guess what? You didn't try and you missed. But Reece James is the same thing. He's got a lot of quality. He's a quality player when he wants to play. Problem is he doesn't push himself. He doesn't work hard. I've complained about this before. When he and Azpilicueta were fighting out for that right back spot, I preferred to have Azpilicueta out there most games because James wasn't working hard. He wasn't trying most games. He would occasionally pop up with something fantastic because he's really good on the ball. But most of the time, he gets the ball and it's too slow. It's too slow. He's closed down because he took 3 touches when he should have just taken 1 and sent the ball in, or 1 and then driven down the line. But instead he takes 3 touches, he's moved a foot, and then he's closed down and he has to go backwards with it. But outside of his play, mentality-wise, you got to be a leader on the field. And that's something Azpilicueta had in spades. I hardly saw him doing stupid stuff. Doing stuff that, you kind of look at it and you're like, come on, dude, you're the captain. Grow up. Like, he led with his actions most games. I mean, you watch him play, and he's not getting involved in... James, first of all, first half, gets an arm across the face. Guy gets a yellow card, rightfully so. And then he's chirping. I think he was yelling at the Newcastle bench or something. He was standing over the ball forever. And then just passes it right to Gordon. And gives them a chance right on the stroke of halftime. A great chance. What the hell was that? What are you doing? And then you come out second half, and then he gets himself carded because he kicks the ball away like a dumbass. And then I didn't see what got him sent off, but you got yourself sent off. You're the captain. You've got to be smarter than that. You've got to be stronger mentality-wise than that. But no, he's not. He's never looked like a mental leader. He's never looked like a strong captain. No, I've never seen that from him. The only thing that makes him a captain is because that's what he wanted to stay. And we were like, oh, okay, we'll give you that so you'll stay. You know what? Let him go. Go get a better right back that's going to work hard for the team, please. Because again, all the quality in the world, he doesn't use it half the time. So I'm kind of sick of him. And today, it's been one of those things where it's been building up slowly. Like, I've had my frustrations with him, but he's done enough to make me go, okay, you know what? He's pissing me off sometimes, but hey, he'll pop up occasionally with something fantastic, great pass that sets up a goal or something along those lines. So you know what? I'll let it slide for now. Now he's not giving us anything. And today was just that last straw moment where I'm watching him play and he's just constantly not giving us anything. You have that moment right at halftime where he gives the ball right to Gordon like an idiot, and then he gets himself a card stupidly, and then he gets himself sent off. I mean, that's, for me, that is where I'm like, okay, you know what? Done. I'm done trying to give you the benefit of the doubt. I'm done trying to say, you know what, at least he brings something. Today, you gave us nothing. You gave the team nothing. So I would not start him again until he learns his lesson. And if he doesn't learn his lesson, then goodbye. Because we don't need players like that. There's several players we don't need in this that played today. But that in particular, because he's captain, that's inexcusable. You shouldn't be doing that as a captain. But again, that's when your leader is doing that on the field. That's when you know the club is in serious trouble. So yeah, there's a lot of questions to answer from today. Ugachukwu, I don't really want to see him again. It's really embarrassing when you make Moises Caicedo look like a better option. Because Caicedo, I talked about in my last video, he's not a good option. He's probably the worst midfielder in the Premier League at the moment, and Ugachukwu somehow played worse today than even he's been playing. So, yeah. Again, we don't have a midfield, because you've got Fernandez, who's solid enough, and then you got Caicedo, who's not good, and then you got Ugachukwu, who might be bad enough that he's not even good enough for championship. Which it's bringing back memories of Bakayoko. I'm like, did we go get another Bakayoko? I think we did. Gallagher today, just not good enough. Goes from great performance against City to terrible performance today against Newcastle. He's so inconsistent. Sterling, same thing. Jackson, same thing. Fernandez looked okay for most of the game. Palmer was isolated a lot, so he wasn't really that good today. Cucurella was back to his just running around like a chicken with his head cut off. So a lot of work from him, but quality-wise, he was awful today. Badiashile, I know it's his first game back in a while, but he looked off it today. So yeah, I think, and of course Sanchez, we need a keeper in January. I think everybody knows that, so I hope, when I say everybody, I hope that includes the people who are in charge of transfers at the club, because if they don't see that we need a keeper, then you might have to start firing some people, because my God. I've already talked about his passing and how bad it is, but today just shows he's not even in charge of his box. How many corners were so dangerous because he couldn't even challenge. He bumped into Badiashile and fell over on one of the corners. So, yeah, I don't know how the subs that came in did. The subs that came in were the ones that I was asking for, but at that point, it was right before James got sent off. I was keeping up on the timeline at least. So those subs, first of all, it's too late anyway, because you've already given up 2. So they were subs that I was asking to come on when it was still 1-1, when you're still looking for that winner. And then you concede 2. Now you bring on those subs. It's too late at that point. They were the correct subs for the correct people. Caicedo for Ugachukwu, Mudryk for Gallagher, Broja for Jackson. What I wanted to see at 1-1. At 2-2, now you've got to essentially Broja on for Gallagher, have 2 up top because you got to push for it. And then obviously you still need to get Ugachukwu off. So yeah, it's one of those games where, again, our inconsistency, our naivete, our weak mentality, it all showed today. And this is what we can expect, at least for the next few years, or until Bowley gets a new job somewhere else. Because this is the team that we put together. This is the team that he's decided. This is the players we want to see at Chelsea. These are the guys that we want to see. We want to get all these young, inexperienced talents and get them out there. And this is the team we want to build. Okay, great. So basically you want me to suffer for 2 years watching these idiots who can't play until maybe, because that's the thing. In 2 years, who knows? These guys could still be stupid, could still be not good enough. So everybody who's saying, just wait. I've had some Chelsea fans attack me and be like, no, they're building this team. Just give it a few years. It's going to be bad, but it'll get better. You don't know that. These players could grow up and still be bad. They could still be trash when they get older. We don't know if they're going to be good. We're hoping. So, yeah, this team is, it's not good. I don't see it getting much better until we get a new owner or until the Bowley wises up and actually says, you know what, maybe I need to trust the manager a bit more. Maybe when I bring in a manager, I'm bringing him in, but also bringing in players that he wants to be brought in too. Not just, hey, let's bring in all this young talent and then let's go get a manager who's been successful elsewhere and let's see if it all works. No, have a plan, you dumbass. So anyways, I know this is going to be a bit of a different review, more of just a rant than actually reviewing the game. But again, I don't, honestly, it makes me not want to review Chelsea games anymore because there's really no point in talking about what's good and what's bad in each match. Because every game it could change. Again, Cucurella has been flying the past few matches. Today he was awful. Silva is normally the face of consistency. He was awful today. Palmer has been dominating the past couple games. He was non-existent. Sterling and Jackson looked great against Man City, but they were awful against Tottenham and they were awful today. So, you've got these players that one game can turn in the performance of their life, and then the next game could suddenly just all fall apart because that's the players we have. So I don't know. Obviously, we'll see. We'll see if I decide to stick with the reviews or not. But it's kind of got me sitting here going, do I even want to do these reviews anymore if whatever I see one match could suddenly just change in the next one? The player that I was raving about in the last match could suddenly go out and put in a 1 out of 10 performance in the next one? I don't know. Because it gets kind of exhausting, if I'm being honest, to sit here and get almost kind of whiplash from how quickly we go from being a team that looks like they could challenge top 4 to a team that's going to be lucky to survive a relegation battle. I mean, just one game to the next, it's back and forth and back and forth. It gets exhausting, really. So, yeah, I think that's about all for this one, though. So let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below. What were your thoughts on the game today? Let me know. We can talk about, discuss, all that good stuff. Leave a like and subscribe. We'll see if I do future Chelsea reviews. I'll see you there if I do. Peace out.